the coverage. The backside corner plays man. Everybody else plays zone. Lamar hurts him for it.
Ravens a 10-0 lead later in the quarter. Joe Burrow says, hey, I've got a tight end too.
And it's a great job by Joe hanging in the pocket. Hayden Hurst on that deep and crossing route. Hurst had a great effort not only on this play, but all game. He was one of the bright spots for Cincy.
Bengals cut it to 10-7. Early third, Ravens
here we go.
4th and 2. Jackson's got it open.
Greeny, hardest throw to make. The guy that's wide open.
Kylan Wallace, they turn it over after a missed opportunity. First play next, Bengals drive. Joe Burrow, this is a bad throw.
Bad decision, wrong decision, absolutely forced. Under center play action. The linebacker, Patrick Queen, drops underneath. You got Joe Mixon right out there in the flat, uncovered for an easy first down. Forced throw by Joe.
Ravens kick a field goal. They're up 13-10. Later in the quarter, 2nd and goal. Bengals, they get very cute down here.
Tyler Boyd, remember last week, third down it worked. He gets that huge chunk completion. This one, you'd love for him to throw it away. He doesn't. Takes away a huge part of their offense.
And then 2 plays later, they're going for it on 4th and goal, and they try and get tricky again.
But credit Baltimore defensively. They were completely ready for it.
13-10 Ravens. 4 minutes to go in the 4th. Bengals down 6. Here comes Burrow looking for his buddy from LSU.
Listen, he left this ball inside on the back shoulder. This is a great hands catch by Jamar Chase in what was a good matchup with Marlon Humphrey.
And so then Burrow punches it in himself, ties the game at 16 just after the 2-minute warning. That means they need the PAT to take the lead. Evan McPherson. Oh, look how close. This is Rex. Are we sure this was good?
Hey, if it goes right over it, they call it good.
It's good. So the Bengals, a 17-16 lead, but they left just under 2 minutes for Lamar Jackson, and he can still do this.
How about this play call, though? You're expecting pressure, right? Defensive ends want to get upfield. They go with the zone read for Lamar. The defensive end climbs. He's got lead blockers out in front. Great
3rd and 1. What do?
Put it in that guy's hands.
He does it again. So the Ravens run it down to 3 seconds. Justin Tucker, this is his 17th NFL attempt in the final minute. He is now 17 of 17 for his career.
He's the most perfect football player that's ever lived.
There are very few kickers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Justin Tucker absolutely should be there when his career is over.
He's going to be a first ballot
he should
Hall
be.
of Famer as a kicker.
That thing literally went right down the middle of the uprights.
43 yards for the win, and a huge one for the Ravens who need it. And I tell you what, after going for it repeatedly last week and not showing the confidence in his defense, John Harbaugh changed it up, and in the end, it pays off.
Yeah, it pays off. And the great thing is, it never worked because Cincinnati goes right down the field and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
But I love the fact Harb said, you know what? No, we're getting back to playing Raven football. We're going to play great defense, and we're going to play to our kicker, which sounds crazy, but that's what they do. But here's the thing I was most impressed with, all right? They put their ego aside. Nobody runs more man coverage, straight man, than the Baltimore Ravens. That's not the answer, clearly, against the Cincinnati Bengals. We saw it last year to the tune of about 1,000 yards passing in the 2 games, 7 touchdowns. They went back and said, no, we're gonna change it up, be multiple in our zone coverage, and I absolutely loved it. Give credit to that coaching staff and to John Harbaugh.
So the Ravens get the win. That's one they desperately needed coming off of some of the tough losses they've had. How about the Bengals? RC, this is a team that was in the Super Bowl a year ago. They're 2-3. What are you seeing right now?
Well, I think the first thing is teams are playing them differently. Like, teams understand you can't single up Jamar Chase. That if you single him up, that Joe Burrow is going to give him an opportunity to catch the ball. And in 50-50 balls, he's one of the best they have in the entire league. This team also isn't blocking well. And they're not blocking well in the run. Actually, Joe Mixon got going a little bit last night. But they also aren't protecting. You put this whole front line together to protect Joe Burrow better than you did last year, and you aren't getting that accomplished. Also, defensively, they aren't getting the turnovers they need to create short fields, to give points. And so I think as a team, they aren't playing as well.
Are you concerned about Burrow and the Bengals?
I am now, and I wasn't. I would say this: watch NFL Live, because there's going to be some stuff about their offense that is hurting them. You can't throw teams out of too high shell. Remember 2 years ago we were having the conversation about Patrick. You can't throw them out of too high shell. I don't care how good you are. And so
Meaning this team needs to run the football more is what you're saying.
They've got to adjust some. They've got obvious things going on to the defense knows exactly what they're doing.
All right, so let's leave that there for the moment because I want to get in superlatives. We will have much more on all these games as we go. But, Dan, the entire day in the NFL yesterday, what was the most impressive thing you saw?
The team that I've probably been the hardest on, the New York Rodgers.
Yeah, he's in the stands, and he's on the field, and he's throwing touchdowns. Packers up 17-3.
You love that design, right? Fake inside zone, fake the reverse, and the Mercedes Lewis 2-second leak, and then Saquon Barkley. The most underappreciated or under-talked about thing in the NFL this year is this Giants offensive line and how much they are doing a good job of getting Saquon untouched to the second level. It's been fantastic.
And then how about tricky Giants down by the goal line?
Yeah, this isn't Cody Bellinger. Maybe he's related, but a beautiful job of running like the Philly special. Daniel Jones is there, takes it himself.
Giants now down 20-10. Late third, it's 20-13. First and 10 at the 9. Here's a moment that you figure might be the lights out for the Giants.
Come on.
Barkley goes down with a shoulder. And he would be checked out, and it wasn't clear if he was going to come back or not. Under 11 minutes to go, Giants 3rd and 3. Nice play.
Great job again getting Daniel Jones on the move, and then David Sills just kind of sitting in that soft spot. Daniel Jones seeing him, a really good conversion.
And then punch it home with Gary Brightwell, who's in for the injured
Household
Saquon.
name?
Tied at 20. And the Giants, if they bring people.
His household.
Next possession, 2nd and 10. Barkley back on the field. RC, how about the move he makes
Listen,
here?
this play is absolutely sick. He gives him a deceased femur. We'll talk about another one later on. He gave him the whole leg and took it back. This is one of those plays where you say, this is the reason Saquon Barkley was drafted, and this absolutely shows that he is back.
And here's another reason he was drafted. Direct snap, takes it in. Giants up 27-20. Not since Chandler and Monica did anything this stunning happen in London.
I see you, Greeny.
Just over 3 minutes to play. Rodgers, Lazard, Packers with a new set of downs. Less than 2 minutes to go. Rodgers, you know for sure he's going to get into the end zone, right? Wrong.
Got Randall Cobb on that outbreaker to the slant. Kayvon Thibodeau does an awesome job. Not going to get home. Get your hands up.
And so we go 4th down, and here come the Giants again.
Big story to game, Greeny. The Green Bay Packers offense did not handle the Giants' pressure. They come all out. He's going to throw the back shoulder fade. Ball up in the air for a tip.
Giants would take a safety strategically. Rodgers is going to get one more chance, or is he? RC, no, he's not.
Absolutely not. Listen, the rush is relentless. They get to Aaron Rodgers. This was the story of the day for the Green Bay Packers. They were outplayed just enough, and Brian Daboll does a great job as head coach.
What a win for the Giants. Aaron, let's talk.
Offensively, we haven't put two halves together. There's a lot that factors into that. Everything from calls to execution, to the momentum, to defensive stops, to adjustments that we make that are good or shouldn't make, but it's a lot of execution. We hold ourselves to a really high standard. I hold myself to a high standard, and we're just not quite there yet.
Okay, Rex Ryan. Last week I sat here all week long, and I had people tell me, despite all of the visual evidence to the contrary, oh, the Packers are great, they're fine, they're good, Rodgers is all that kind of stuff. What are the Green Bay Packers?
Average. This is an average football team, an overrated football team. And Aaron Rodgers is right. They're not there yet. I mean, he's absolutely right. Okay.
Are they going to get there? Do they have the pieces
I don't
to
think
get
they're
there?
going to get there. No, and I don't think so. Do they miss Devontae Adams? Oh my gosh! Look, Wink Martindale has sat back and said, "I'll play against this group any day of the week." Right now, who are you going to go to? Their best receiver is Randall Cobb, and he was really good about 8 years ago. All right, nothing to Randall Cobb. I like Randall Cobb as a third receiver. He's their number one go-to guy right now. They have nothing on the outside. One of the worst passing teams in the league. Aaron Rodgers ranks only above 2 quarterbacks, and Baker Mayfield's one of them.
Really good
going
player.
outside the receivers.
So they only ranks above 1 quarterback.
Yeah. Oh,
Not
really?
nice. But RC, okay, so Rodgers struggling. They're going to put together. Everyone keeps telling me how great their defense is. They have a 2-touchdown lead against Daniel Jones yesterday and lose.
Oh, no, we was wrong.
Yeah, you was wrong.
You know what? Hey, Greeny, but this is the thing, man. I'm not going to come on for 17 weeks and try to convince people of stuff that's not actually happening. No, if they come back and they start playing well, I can say, you know what? Hell, we was wrong again.
Yeah.
But right now, when you look at this team, there's a progression you want to see with this team defensively. You want to see them start to dominate. They should be able to run sideline to sideline with Campbell and Walker at the linebacker positions. They are talented on the back end, and we thought they'd found rushers. None of those things are happening. And when you look at the game yesterday, it was make one play defense. It wasn't necessarily just get a stop. It was make a play and end this game. And every opportunity, it was Daniel Jones. It was Saquon Barkley. And so when you look at the way this team is supposed to be progressing to be good, none of those things are falling into
The
place.
only thing I care about yesterday was Aaron Rodgers' final word. He said, yet. They will get there. For us to expect that the first weekend of October, that they look like an offense that is – I've said it all year, guys. It's going to take time. Christian Watson has to play a little bit more. He missed yesterday with some health injuries early on in that football game. Dobbs is coming on, I absolutely believe that this offense is going to be more diverse and less dependent on Davante Adams without Davante Adams. I'll say this about yesterday. Number one, they didn't handle pressure well. And then number two, and I saw this a little bit last week, it feels like they've tried to force explosive plays than create explosive plays or chunks down the field in the throw game. I don't remember the last time, and I see you looking at me, RC, I watched Aaron Rodgers just drop back and throw go routes like he has over the last 2 weeks. That's not their offense. That's what I mean by forcing it rather than creating it.
He looks like he's lost in legendary
looking at?
patience.
They're so bad.
No, they're not.
Like,
You know what?
bro, they beat the Bears pretty good. They scored 14 against the Bucks. You beat Zappy and them by 3.
Zappy.
You lose to the Giants. Like, it's just
You know who has the second best pass defense in the NFL?
The Giants?
Giants.
We'll